here on the Lego version, it's a triangle. It's one eye symbolism. It's kind of crazy because of the Mephisto thing that's happening right now, where you get to sell your soul. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be doing something very different from what I'm usually doing. I try to make my videos as like fun as possible, trying to make sure we don't always talk about the negative things in video games. But I feel as if this has kind of come to my attention that this feels very much planned up to the Halloween event, definitely with Mephisto being in the underworld, which is very representative of hell. I feel as if he was a very tricky character to kind of try to introduce here because they obviously was going to get backlash for this. 100%. I don't even know why they even tried this, but they did it anyways. Like, in my opinion, I feel as if even to the naked eye, this is pretty much concerning because they tried to just sneak this in here like if nobody was going to notice that this was in here. Or there was anything wrong with it, like it just didn't. I don't think they noticed that anybody would feel a certain way about this being in the game. I'm trying to make my way towards him, which is why I'm taking forever. But this man right here, sitting in the chair that, well, oh my gosh, I was called Loki. Sitting in the chair that. Sitting in the chair that. What is his name? Sitting in the chairs that Hades was sitting in, and I'm not even going to lie to you, the only other person who probably ever took this pose was Doom. I don't think Hades really took this pose, and it seems to be that the chair is completely replaced with something that's supposed to be reminiscent of describing of hell. Dark, hot. We all know that Mephisto is supposed to represent the devil. He will never be the devil, let's just be real. He's a fictional character, but he's representing something. He's representing something powerful, something that you shouldn't mess with. And in my opinion, I don't think that I don't trust this at all. I feel like any sort of spirit can take up the mantle of this character's name. And to be honest with you, it's kind of worrying because you're showing young kids this demonic character, this demonic figure, and you're making them comfortable with giving up health to be able to get a random weapon. And that's the thing. It's not even a guaranteed thing. It's random. That in itself is very important because it shows that even in real life, you don't know what you will do when you make a deal. You can make deals with multiple spirits and multiple entities and multiple demons, bro. You can do it. And it's possible. And we've seen many different like stars, like one of the stars where he thinks he's like 300 years old or like 3,000. It was something like that. But I'm just saying, just the same thing. It can apply to anything, the Greek gods, anything. And it's like, there could be some people out there who joke and try to praise Mephisto to be able to get a good random drop. And that in itself, I'm kind of scared of. Because that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't have to. Right? And it's like everybody knows exactly what I mean, where it's like, oh, like the RNG gods, like, help me. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that is in the gaming community to try to beg to get something good to be able to win the game. And to add him in there, like, if he's like something normal, is kind of crazy. I feel as if I don't think they're gonna take him out, but don't ever go to this man. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Don't trust him. Don't trust his name. Don't even I know I've said his name a lot in this thing. We're like, don't really say his name at all. Don't even try to make a joke and like, I don't know, like praise him to be able to get a gun. Like it's it's something that I feel as if it is very ignorant and cocky on Epic's part, 100%, for feeling as if they are protected from the backlash of what this character brings. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to know that Epic kind of went this route because, like, we all know that, yeah, there are grown people who do play this game, but we we're not really like taking half this stuff too seriously. It's cool, but it's cool to an extent that we don't need it. Made for adults. It's made to be able to get children accustomed to allowing spirits to be allowed into their homes, into their environments, to celebrate different holidays and not really understand what is going on or what is the meaning of it. It's just tradition of America. But when we track down these traditions, what truly do any of these really mean? And it's like, even if you go on Google or any place that you think might be a reliable source of information, I don't think it's going to give you any sort of reliable information at all. Like, you can't trust anything when it comes to half the information that we are being given. And this is the reason why I kind of feel as if Fortnite should have stayed and done their own thing, like their own skins, instead of doing so many collaborations, because it allows stuff like this to slip through. And like, I know in like a couple of months or a couple of weeks, everybody's just going to forget about it, or everybody's going to be comfortable with Mephisto being inside the game. And it's like, no, no, I don't think we should be comfortable at all with Epic doing stuff like this, because what's going to happen next Halloween? How far are they going to keep pushing the boundaries of what is allowed and what isn't? It's like 100%. I think people should take everything with a grain of salt. Do not 100. Don't think that this is just like a joke. Take this seriously, because at the end of the day, we know what we didn't want to see as children, or what we weren't comfortable with as children, and we shouldn't allow children to just be comfortable with this like if this is normal. It's not. And it never will be. As much as these people try to push it on us, it never will be normal. Like selling your soul, having a chance of greatness. No, that doesn't sound so right. It's funny, I was mentioning the Greek gods, and I literally hired Artemis, but the Greek gods thing was already too far, because you are still also introducing and forcing religions on people. And I don't think you should do that. 100%, I don't think you should do that. And no matter how they feel, I feel like we need to hold them accountable and stop them from doing stuff like this. 100%. Because children don't understand anything like this, and they think, Zeus, in the future, what if there's somebody trying to force them to get into the Greek gods and stuff like that, and they don't know how any of that stuff works, and they don't know what they're doing or signing up for, and they give into it because it's a familiar name or a familiar face, and that in itself is bad. It's the same thing with Mephisto. And I don't think you should do that. 100%, I don't think you should do that. And no matter how they feel, I feel like we need to hold them accountable and stop them from doing stuff like this. 100%. Because children don't understand anything like this, and they think, Zeus, in the future, what if there's somebody trying to force them to get into the Greek gods and stuff like that, and they don't know how any of that stuff works, and they don't know what they're doing or signing up for, and they give into it because it's a familiar name or a familiar face, and that in itself is bad. It's the same thing with Mephisto. He's way too similar and representative of something different, and I think he shouldn't be in the game. But I don't know. Let's see if I can try to clutch up this match. But I could go on for hours on how uncomfortable this is. And it's the same thing with like Zeus and stuff like that. They can also take up any sort of entity can take up the mantle of people with that name. There could be a spirit out there who's taking up the name of Zeus. 100%. One thing I can tell you about a discovery that I made just recently about how we know the story of the Nephilim and how basically the angels slept with the men's daughter, gave birth to the Nephilim. But the story does represent something close to in the Bible, and it basically says that a earthly woman, or very representative of the earth goddess, I think it was, or something similar to that, where as you can see the representation of, man and the earth very much connected 100%, and how they describe this figure, like this character, is not really much of a difference from just a ordinary woman. So it's like 100%, I do think that certain stories kind of connect to each other in their own weird way. And I do believe that there is a way for spirits to be able to take up the mantle of these names and be praised without people knowing that they're praising these evil spirits, and these evil spirits are tricking them and putting them in a religion that isn't really helping them. And it's the same thing with a lot of other religions. There's a lot of Spanish religions too, where they rely on these gods and they give them protection the same way of the Greeks. They give them wealth the same way of, Greek and Norse and all this stuff, where they rely on these spirits to basically help them throughout their life. And in return, they give up, the newer generation. They give up the loyalty of their children. And it's like it basically forces their children to praise and serve these spirits and promise to basically allow the next generation to do the same. And it's like that in itself is kind of crazy, because you can also like curse people with these spirits. There's times where like Zeus has cursed people. There's times where, the Norse gods have done similar things. And it's like too much of this stuff is representing each other and connecting. I think there is a connection between all this stuff, and that we should pay attention to how these spirits can take up the mantles of other names to be able to empower themselves and to be able to keep tricking people. And I feel as if we should pay attention more and keep our eyes peeled for whatever is to come in the future, and how much this can affect the new generation, and how much this can affect us even later on in life, while we try to move on in the future and try to do better things, is that we probably can't do that because we are so stuck in our family's curses. We can be stuck by our family's curses, and we don't know that we are being cursed by our family. And only person to be able to stop all that is God. Is God and Jesus. And you should put your faith in somebody who's willing to protect you. But I feel as if you shouldn't just put everything on just a spirit that your family members have told you about, told you to do things and stuff like that. Because I feel like 100% there's more evidence that God exists more than any of these Greek gods or anything exists. And people believe in him way more than they do the Lord. And I feel as if that is a problem. That's a major problem. That's really all I have to say about this situation. I don't think you should say his name. I don't think you should mess around and do stuff with this because we don't know what this character is truly supposed to represent or who he's supposed to mean. Even though it's kind of obvious, we don't know what these spirits have planned at all, and we don't know how any of this stuff is supposed to be able to corrupt or change or to sway people in the future. So we just need to be able to keep an open mind and need to be able to keep moving forward, hoping and praying that God be able to be there for us and we don't rely on these demons anymore, these spirits anymore, because truly we don't need them. We don't need their trickery. We don't need to depend on them because at the end of the day, they don't really care. As much as you think that they help you or they do things, they really don't care as much as you think that they do. And even if you don't believe in anything, you still need to be able to watch yourself when it comes to this stuff. You should keep an open mind and make sure that you don't fall for this because there's no reason for us to be comfortable with a character like Mephisto. There's no reason for us to be comfortable with characters like the Greek gods. There's no reason for us to have to rely or give things to these spirits or these characters for us to be able to either win the game or be able to play the game only having this stuff be known. I feel as if we should just be able to just have Fortnite do their own thing and not have to force this stuff down the young children's throats, bro. Like you're forcing this stuff, and it's like it's annoying. To be honest with you, it's very much annoying, and I don't think we need this in the game at all. Because let's just be real, like this whole video, I've been showing you what Fortnite actually is. This is Fortnite. What this guy is doing right here, winning the game, this is Fortnite. What does this have to do with the devil? What does this have to do with Mephisto? And literally, we landed there, right? Not a single person cares that this guy exists, and that's a good thing. But why did we have to have him added? What was the point of him even being there when there was a good chance that nobody was going to care about this guy? I just don't get it. Probably there's other people who are giving health to be able to get stuff from him, but I really don't think we need him. Hopefully that they never try this again or do this in the future because this is just plain ignorance. It shows cockiness. It shows that they just really don't care what they're showing the children. And we just need to be able to keep our eyes peeled and be able to warn people about this stuff because there's only a little bit amount of time that we have to be able to react to this stuff and to be able to make sure that it gets removed or it isn't effective towards people. So that would be all. And hopefully this isn't too long, but I'll be able to cut some stuff out and things like that. But I hope you guys enjoy this video and I hope that in the future I can be able to elaborate on my theory and be able to explain myself a little better. And love y'all. God bless. And hopefully I see you in the next video. They are adding one eye symbolism to Fortnite. As you can see with this skin right here, there's nothing that looks too off about it. It's just a little bit just okay, it's just like that one right eye, right? But to be honest with you, you really don't have to have a complete shape around the eye for it to be one eye symbolism because if you look here on the Lego version, it's a triangle.